Hello, everyone, and Assalamu alaikum. This is Samiha Yunus, and we're back with another exciting episode of DSG Webinar 4.0, episode 9. Today, we have a very special and esteemed guest joining us all the way from the UAE, and we are truly grateful to him for taking time out of his busy schedule for this session. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Rizwan Razaq, Chief Technology Officer at Huawei. Mr. Razak brings over 10 years of international experience in the energy sector, and he has a strong track record in operational and executive leadership roles, having overseen the construction of more than 100 megawatts of PV projects in the UK and played a key role in integrating gigawatts. And his focus is on advancing energy transition, fostering innovation, and driving sustainability. So, Mr. Razak's vision is to create a more sustainable future for generations to come. So, I welcome you, sir, and it's an honor to have you with us today. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well, thank you very much for introducing myself. So, as described, Rizwan Razaq, I'm from the UAE and been here for just over 7 years now, where we've deployed megawatts of utility scale inverters, and also one of the reference projects within the region, which we call the Red Sea, around 1.3 gigawatt hours of energy storage. And we'll be deep diving into that in a bit more details a bit later through the session.
So, today's discussion will focus on empowering emerging markets with solar energy and especially Huawei's role in driving change. So, we will explore how Huawei's innovative solar technologies and strategies are helping to overcome the unique challenges faced by emerging markets and driving sustainable growth and transforming the energy landscape. So let's dive right into our discussion, sir. I would like to ask you first the unique challenges emerging markets face when it comes to adopting solar energy, and how does Huawei specifically address these kinds of challenges?
Yeah, so if I just give a bit of background in regards to the emerging markets itself, Huawei has deployed gigawatts, close to half a terawatt of inverter products globally around the world to date. Now, when it comes to aspects of emerging markets, we do tend to wait for the market to synchronize with the new technologies. And then we would penetrate with the right product. So we entered around the 2016, 2017 mark within Pakistan market specifically. And at that time, we did have product range which was commonly used for more stable grids, like we're seeing in China, in Europe. However, we've seen that in markets like in Pakistan, you do require hybrid technology where the aspect of the inverters do need to synchronize with grid and without grid. So with the recent years, we've deployed products such as the inverters into Pakistan and other African markets where we are illustrating more of a hybrid application rather than just a reliance on catering for a grid-tied application.
All right, sir. So thank you so much for shedding light on that. So moving on to our next question, I would like to ask, how does Huawei's solar technology, such as smart inverters and IoT integration, contribute to making solar energy more accessible and efficient in emerging markets?
Yeah, so with Huawei, we are a technology provider, ICT company, originated over 30 years ago. So we've been in the telecom industry for many years, understanding external environments, managing telecom equipment in very harsh environmental conditions. So the cold environments, high humidity environments, cold temperatures, high temperatures have all already been synchronized. So if we look at the global patents that are registered for each organization, you'll see Huawei being within the top 5. So that gives us a pioneering edge in terms of the research and development that we are providing our products, but also ensuring that the products that are applied in the application itself are there to be installed and exposed to those harsh environments themselves. So just to give an example case, we have been using LFP, which is lithium iron phosphate technology within our batteries. And one of the first projects that we trialed and tested that out was over 10 years ago in the Pakistan market itself. So if we look at that, now we're seeing the deployment of energy storage greatly increasing over the recent years. So that LFP obviously has been trialed and tested in those environmental conditions, and we're now able to very easily ramp up the application scenarios based on the global demand. And other factors that you need to consider in this kind of application is the factors of new players, especially in emerging markets where the energy is not continuously available and the grid stability aspect is a challenge. Choosing the right partner is a key aspect of what I would say the driver to making sure a sustainable future is available.
All right. So, sir, could you share some specific examples where Huawei has played a pivotal role in transforming the energy landscape, especially in developing regions?
Yeah, so one of our reference projects, which I referred to at the beginning of the session today, was the Red Sea. So the Red Sea project is a key reference project, not only for Huawei, but the energy storage market overall globally. So in areas such as Saudi Arabia, there is not continuous grid connection available. So with our deployment of our product, along with the support of the developer and the EPC contractor, we've been able to deploy a one of a kind gigawatt scale energy storage project, which we call a microgrid application. Now, where that project is located within Saudi Arabia, you can see that there is no grid connection available. So this project has been successfully deployed at an area of where Saudi Arabia is intending to grow the tourism market and has deployed an airport, an international airport, I should say, along with holiday resorts, housing complex, etc. And the power that is supporting this infrastructure of a city itself is totally being supplied from a battery energy storage project. So the solar has been engineered and designed based on the scale of the load profile of the project itself. So what I would say as a learning curve and as the audience is listening is the key is in the engineering and making sure that getting the key drivers from the clients on what they actually require, how long do they require that for, is the key inputs in order for us to succeed together in partnership with our customers.
All right, so that's one of the great examples. So if we now discuss about the cost installation, especially in a country like Pakistan, where people are so much worried about the cost that they're going to pay for the solar installation and all. So I would like to inquire you about, sir, what's Huawei strategy that we can use to reduce the cost of solar installations and making renewable energy more affordable for consumers and businesses?
Yeah, so if we look at the background on the solar specifically, and we look at external data reports, I'm talking from documents such as Wood Mackenzie and other regulated boards, where we've seen that the cost of solar deployment has drastically reduced. Now, over the last 10 years, that has substantially come from a specific area of the PV modules themselves. So we've seen that decline quite drastically, and it's now specifically for the Pakistan market, we're seeing project costs within a return of investment target of around 1 to 2 years, which I see. And if you look at other places around the world, that is a very, very good, attractive business model in order to succeed with the solar project itself. Now, other markets, such as in Europe, for example, due to the cost of the installation, the labor costs, etc., that may be slightly longer. However, the energy prices are only increasing, as we all know, and those aspects are making it further feasible for these solar projects themselves. Now, one thing I would like to highlight here is, although we are talking about renewables and specifically solar here, the deployment of energy storage working in hand with the solar is the right type of application to incorporate into the projects themselves. So we need to do the engineering aspect again, looking at what is the base load of the customer, what is the critical load of the customer themselves, and then looking at the aspects of the lifetime of the assessment that they are considering that this type of technology would be able to operate. So in solar, for example, typically the warranties offered from the module suppliers are around the 20 to 25-year mark. And then we need to obviously consider other components as well, such as the inverters, which are housing between 5 to 10 year warranties. Now, when it comes to other technologies such as energy storage, the um, the the kind of warranty aspects can be differed depending on the type of application. So for the residential, it may be at a specific 10-year time frame, and for the utility can be ranging from 10 to 15 years. So these aspects are important to consider when designing and engineering the project. And what I would like to share here is that with our key reference project that we've succeeded in the Red Sea, there was not just a couple of calculations done in order to cater for the gigawatt scale project. There were hundreds of calculations from multiple different external softwares that need to be understood from the Pakistan market, incorporated in the design process in order to successfully succeed in a project which will be able to operate seamlessly. Now, topics that I would like to kind of really refer to here is the digitalization, the topics of incorporating SCADA systems, monitoring platforms, and EMS applications correctly so the system can work digitally rather than the commonly known as the traditional methods of switching devices on and off manually, which has a level of safety danger, and also the time response in switching that equipment on and off, which commonly I would say in markets like in Pakistan is the common practice. But we do need to work towards more of a digital profile in order to speed up that process.
All right, so that is exactly my next questions. Like, how do you see the role of digitalization, especially AI and data analytics? And you have already answered that question. So, sir,
I'll just go
if
in
you
a bit
talk,
more detail on that specific topic. So within Huawei, the devices that we are supplying, whether it is for the solar or for the battery storage, we have already incorporated these features inside of our inverters themselves. So the AI chipsets, for example, for certain features are already inbuilt and incorporated. So what I would like to highlight here is utilizing those features and incorporating those into the projects themselves, rather than using the common practice of using traditional methods. If the products have those features available, utilizing those for the full potential with the knowledge and with the training from the suppliers themselves.
well, that's really insightful. So, sir, what is Huawei's vision for integrating solar energy with national grids in developing countries?
So this is where we need support from obviously local contractors, developers in the market itself. So as a equipment supplier, we are rolling out our products in the emerging markets, and this is an area which we do have a channel business typically operating at the initial basis. And then once the markets and the regions do develop further, we do then incorporate the utility scale projects with the governments and with the local developers itself. So we have successfully deployed a megawatt scale project of around 150 megawatts already within the Pakistan market. And this is successfully incorporated with an international developer. And that was successfully installed, I believe, last year. And that is using our full turnkey solution, which is not only the inverters, but also the step-up transformers and the communication equipment, such as the SACU and the monitoring platform, the Fusion Solar. So that kind of brings me to the next topic. I know DSG very well, and we've been growing as the company has developed over the years. And I see that within DS team itself, you've incorporated a very nice dashboard on the Fusion Solar platform, utilizing the full features that are available from the equipment supplier, and able to monitor and operate the projects at their optimum efficiency, whilst also providing the necessary report methods to your end clients as well, which really does help the end to end from the supplier and also to the end clients themselves for a full digitalized method of operating these renewable projects.
All right. So, sir, if we talk about the energy security is one of the major concerns that we have globally. So, what role does solar energy play in improving energy security for emerging markets, and how is Huawei enabling this through its solutions?
Yeah, so at the initial stage, as indicated, it is an ICT company, and telecom is our bread and butter of the main organization itself. Now, within the initial stages of emerging markets trying to go into providing power, etc., and the security aspect, the initial aspect is to provide the telecom equipment with aspects of renewable energy. So rather than the reliance on devices such as diesel generators, we are able to incorporate solar and batteries that are able to supply the telecom equipment initially with a stable power source. And then the next stage would be with our local partners to have the renewable solar projects products available within country itself. And we do provide with our partners the local necessary training and support in order to make the markets more mature and understand how these types of technologies are able to successfully be implemented, but in a digital way.
So before proceeding, sir, I would also like to ask our audience if they have any kind of questions that we can add in our sessions, then they can surely ask, and we will try our best to add in our session. So, sir, as you all know, that solar energy particularly is not all about cost saving and all. It also has a very good environmental benefits and impact as well. So, if for the better understanding of our audience, if we ask you, what are the environmental and economical benefits that emerging markets can expect by embracing, especially Huawei's solar technologies and inverters?
Yeah, so this is a very good question, and just to kind of indicate our drive in this area is our focus is the LCOE, which is a levelized cost of energy itself. And for the storage, we focus on the levelized cost of storage, so the LCOS. So when we talk about these topics, that is our main driver when we're working with our clients on not only the utility scale, but also for the residential and commercial projects themselves. So understanding what is LCOS and what is LCOE, it's not only driven by CapEx, but also considering the factors such as OpEx, along with the factor of the yield as well. So once the calculation is done correctly for the full LCOS and LCOE, we are able to drive our customers to fully understand a digital way of utilizing the technology, but also not considering high-end operational cost to maintain these projects themselves. So what I would like to highlight here is features such as the IV curve technology. So this is already available using the monitoring platform provided from Huawei. And this is a digital method of operating and ensuring the detection of your projects are done in a smart way. And if the necessary cleaning, if there is problems occurring on the site, it can be detected digitally, and you can send the operators on site to resolve the problem at one time and one shot, rather than first of all sending engineers to understand what is the issue, and then second of all allocating the necessary resource, and then thirdly sending those engineers with this required skill set back to get that problem resolved and then do the necessary testing. So you can understand from that aspect there's going to be a downtime of energy, there's going to be a cost from the labor, and also the equipment itself from the customer side will be defected, and there will be a loss of energy from their side. So that comes down to the liquidated damages incurred. So utilizing these features that are available can seamlessly and digitally help our customers. So this is where, specifically with companies like with DSG, where we've been working very closely in ensuring that you guys as an organization are familiar with the product range, but also the features that we are providing within the technology itself.
Okay, and so that I have a very interesting top question. And next, I want to ask you about how is Huawei supporting local talent and innovation in the renewable energy sector, particularly in regions where solar adoption is still in its early stages.
Sure. So, when we entered the market, the necessary support from the local offices, local training, which was carried out by our local partners, but also working with institutes such as universities, along with um, event organizers to broadcast and train up the local market. So, back in the year of 2019, around 5 years ago, myself and a few of the regional colleagues participated in incorporating these training sessions with the market itself. This is where my connection grew and my love for Pakistan grew even further, to understand, the challenges that you guys have there, but also trying to provide the necessary international exposure to further train and provide support to the end customers and the talent that is available there. So that's why I did illustrate here universities, for example, along with our partners, where we gathered the solar industry to fully understand our products and training sessions.
All right, sir. I would like to add one question from one of our viewers. Mr. Abdurrahman has asked, how do Huawei inverters compare to other brands in terms of efficiency? So,
It's
sir, would you
a
like?
very good question, and I would say that from an inverter aspect, the market has matured quite drastically. And what I would firstly like to indicate is that over the last 10 years, if we assess, there has been players that have entered the market, and also we have seen other vendors which have exited the market. So selecting a partner which is locally available and stable would be the first aspect of evaluation. And when it comes to the efficiency, I think that works hand in hand. Does that organization have a respected R&D facility to test that product in the scenarios that it will be installed and applied? So although the efficiencies these days are hovering very closely to 99%, it's actually doing the secondary layer of due diligence of that product itself. Looking at the test report, does that value on the datasheet match the parameters of the test report? Along with looking at the test report and understanding how does that report actually test the product itself? Does it actually apply it on the scenario of the working condition? And does that have any, let's say, range that it can operate? So just to give a bit of overview on that, it's very easily able to adopt a high efficiency parameter in test conditions. But in real case, unless you're not evaluating your products after they've been installed, it's very challenging to really look at, does that efficiency on the datasheet match the value which is being performed on site?
All right. So, sir, if we talk about the future technologies and future innovations, looking ahead, what future advancements in solar technology from Huawei do you believe will have the most significant impact on emerging markets, and what Huawei particularly is bringing something new for the consumers?
Yep. So I've got to be a bit smart in the manner of how to, let's say, give a clear overview on the product roadmap. But we have strictly been supplying string inverters only to the international market. So one of the common questions I get asked, and specifically when traveling to Pakistan, is where is Huawei, and are we not supplying a centralized inverter? So Huawei, at the initial stage when we evaluated the solar renewable sector, we actually, within the China market, we had a centralized inverter, and we also had a string inverter. However, we analyzed the challenges with both scenarios, and as a organization, we were guided to go with the string technology, which we see has been a success over the last 10 years, where all manufacturers are moving towards the string technology. So if you look at the GTM data globally, the centralized inverter market has declined and the string inverter market has increased. So that's one aspect. And as for our string inverters, we can see already we've got a 330 kilowatt string inverter for the utility scale application, which I believe some of the customers in Pakistan are already adopting. However, what is the next size? Is it to go 400, 500? That is a question which we are still developing and assessing. Right now, the technology is at the 1500 volt DC. However, we're seeing a change in the module technology where the voltages are coming at a lower parameter, currents are going higher. So the MPPT inputs are becoming more of a challenging aspect. Now, we are analyzing the market itself, and we are assessing whether that should be the suitable 2000 volts DC or whether we should be assessing 3000 volts DC. So this is still a topic of negotiation internally of what is right based on the industry standards globally as well, because we have to follow the international standards for electrical aspects.
All right. So, sir, Ms. Taspia from our viewers, she wants to ask what is the expected lifespan of a Huawei inverter?
That's a very good question. So from Huawei, our devices are developed with a anticipated 25-year expected life. And we do a very thorough test on the life expectancy. So when it comes to that, we look at what we call as HALT test, high acceleration life testing. So that looks at the device, switches on and off the device on its expected duration over the 25 years. Now, what I would like to also highlight here is we've also collaborated with a third-party consultant agency called DNVGL, and they have also done their technical due diligence on the product itself and have expected more than 17 years of life expectancy from their due diligence process as well. So this, on a case-by-case scenario, would be the kind of answer I would give. But we provide as manufacturer, we follow the industry standard, and the industry standard for a utility scale application is 5 years as a standard warranty. But we can provide longer warranties at a cost basis for Pakistan market. Now, residential inverters have a different time frame of warranty. Batteries have a different time frame. However, from the inverters, we have done and we have successfully got many over 10 years of successful operation in China, for example, where we've seen failure rates of less than 0.4, 0.3%. And the customers are actually seeing a very good performance from their projects themselves.
All right. Well, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise. Before we wrap up, I would like you to please share something with our audience who are watching us. Do you have any message that you want to convey to the audience?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention to everyone that thank you very much all for joining, and let's work together with the vendors. Let's work together with the EPCs, with the consultants as a team. If we work as a team, we're able to deploy in emerging markets such as Pakistan a successful future. You've got a very great, irradiation location, geographical location across the world, and Pakistan is situated at an ideal location where we are able to harvest that irradiation to provide a more sustainable and renewable power source to the Pakistan market. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. And I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Mr. Rizwan Razaq for joining us and providing such informative and engaging answers. Sir, we really appreciate your time and contribution to this important discussion.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. We hope to see you again in another episode of DSG Webinar 4.0. And until then, take great care of yourselves. This is Samiha Yunus signing off. Allah Hafiz.